Good day, Junior Tikkies. I'm Mrs. Brimacombe, and we are going to look at Bank Reconciliation Activity 1. This activity is a basic activity just to revise Bank Recon and go through the basic steps in how to complete the bank reconciliation. Now, before we start, when we look at bank reconciliation, our bank account must equal the balance on the bank statement. The bank statement is an external source that we get from the bank, and we need to compare it to the balance in our bank account. So please remember, we always compare the month-end balances. And secondly, from the bank's perspective, we are a creditor. So when we deposit money into our account, it will be credited to our account. When we make payments, it will be debited. In our books, it is the opposite. When the business receives money, bank is always debited. When the business makes a payment, bank is always credited. Irrelevant if we have a favorable balance, which means it's a current asset, or if we have an unfavorable balance, which means it's then a liability. So these are just things that you need to always remember. Now, if we go to the activity, update the cash journals for March 2021 by taking into account entries on the bank statement. The word update is very important. Remember, bank recon is done at the end of the month, after we've done our cash receipts journal, after we've done our cash payment journal. So this is why the question says update the cash journals. So we are firstly going to look at the cash receipts journal, and we are going to compare it to the bank statement. Now, the way in which the bank statement is presented, they've indicated a plus or a minus. A plus for when money is deposited into our account, minus for if money is paid from our account, deducted from our account. So what we need to do is now we need to look at our cash receipts journal, the bank balances, and we compare it to the bank statement, to all the pluses on the bank statement. We are going to tick where it appears in both the bank statement and the cash receipts journal. We're just going to tick it off. And where we don't see it on the bank statement or in the cash receipts journal, we need to circle it. So if we look at, if it's recorded in the cash receipts journal and it does not appear on the bank statement, it means that we need to take it to the bank reconciliation. If it appears on the bank statement, but it's not recorded in our books, like the direct deposit, the interest on credit balance, it means that we need to update our books. So we're going to circle that. So in our cash receipts journal, we are going to have direct deposit from Pete, 8,500. And if you go to the additional information, this was for rent income. So source document, bank statement, from who did we receive the money, how much did we receive, for what reason. Interest on credit balance, and you will see that there's also a plus. It means that we've received interest for having money in our bank account. So again, the source document is bank statement, Mona Bank, a total 96, and this is interest on current account. So now that we have taken all the transactions which did not appear in our books, we've updated in our cash receipts journal, now we can total. Please do not forget to take the total 118,960 plus 8,500 plus the 96. That is a common mistake. We tend to forget the total brought forward. Now we need to do exactly the same as we did with the cash receipts journal, and we compared it to the bank statement. Now we're going to take the cash payment journal and we are going to compare it to the bank statement. If it appears in our journal but not on the bank statement, we need to take it to the bank recon. If it appears on the bank statement but not in our books, we need to update the CPJ. So now we're going to go and we are going to tick off where it appears in both, and where there's a missing figure, we're going to circle that. So I've now ticked off and I've circled where there's missing figures. You would notice that I've highlighted the cash handling fees, service fees, and EFT charges. This will always be added together as part of our bank charges. We are not going to show it separately. Please remember, if you had interest on debit balance, it means that you would have paid interest on an unfavorable balance, interest on a bank overdraft, which means that I need to show it separately. I cannot show the interest as part of my bank charges. GAAP principle, materiality is applied. Important information must be shown separately. We need to know what is the cost of borrowing money. Looking at our CPJ, we're going to start with the bank charges. The money is deducted from our bank account. Mono Bank is our details. The total bank charges is 430. Then we have a debit order, 4,400 from Fast Insurers, and we've got another debit order, Paris Municipality, 4,150. So now we need to look at the additional information to know exactly for what those payments were. So if I look at the debit order on the 20th was for the business insurance, and this is why it will be insurance. The debit order on the 31st was for water and electricity, so we are going to say water and electricity. If we are done with that, we're going to total it. Please again, do not forget to include the total brought forward, 40,400. Now that we have updated our CRJ and CPJ, we can prepare the bank account on 31 March. Now, if we're doing bank recon, we compare the month-end balances. Looking at the bank statement, that balance 12,340. This would have been the closing balance at the end of the previous month, which will now be the opening balance in my general ledger. So that balance needs to go to the general ledger. If I look at the month-end balance, that 81,916, that will go to your bank reconciliation statement as balance as per bank statement. So March the 1st, balance brought down 12,340. We now need to take our updated cash receipts journal, the total, to the bank account. Always remember, bank is always debited from the cash receipts journal. Make sure that you use your total, 127,556. From the cash payment journal, bank is always credited. Again, make sure that you use your total that you've calculated in your cash payment journal, 49,380. So on the credit side, we're going to have sundry accounts from the CPJ, 49,380. Now we can total, take the debit side minus the credit side, the balance Carried down means balance brought down 90,516, and this is my new updated bank balance. If you look at sundry accounts, you can either write sundry accounts or total receipts. The same as on the credit side, it's either sundry accounts or total payments. Now we can go on to question 1.3 to prepare the bank reconciliation statement. You can either do the 2-column method or the 1-column method. I'm going to show you later on how do we do the 1-column method. So if I do the 2-column method, we start with balance as per bank statement. Remember, on the bank statement, we had a favorable bank balance. On the bank statement, the balance will appear on the credit side, so it will appear on the credit side in the bank recon as well. In our cash receipts journal, we had an outstanding deposit of 21,000. So we're going to say credit outstanding deposit 21,000. Again, it's the same as how it would appear on your bank statement. In our CPJ, we had an outstanding EFT, so debit outstanding EFT 12,400, again, as it would appear on your bank statement. Our new updated balance as per bank account is always as it would appear in your books. We had a debit balance, so it will appear in the bank recon on the debit side. And now, once I've done with this, the debit side must be equal to the credit side. If you choose to do a 1-column method, you can simply scratch out 1 column, and then you're going to say the same as you've done before, balance according to bank statement, outstanding deposit. If it appears on the credit side on your bank statement, it means positive, no brackets. Outstanding EFT means on the debit side, payments being made, it means it must be in brackets. When we're doing the 1-column method, the balance as per bank account becomes the balancing figure at the bottom. And you know that you've done this 100% correct if it's exactly the same as the balance in your bank account in question number 1.2. Thank you very much. I want to leave you with this quote: there is no substitute for hard work. In our next activity, we're also going to look at bank recon, but we're going to look at different ways in how the information is given and how do I approach this. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.